Over 350 developers have come together to create 8 years' worth of short games, fun meditations. A game-a-day project, dreamed up by Lambir's Rami Ismail. The games themselves are free to download, but with one catch: each and every one can only be played for a single day a year. Missing a game, however, means you will have to wait until that day in 2020 to give it another shot. According to the project's website, each game was made in 6 hours or so and, for the most part, take around 5 minutes to complete. Most do not feature text, and many are short, experimental, and personal vignettes created by the developers involved for that specific calendar day. Today's meditation, for example, is credited to Ajay Wallach, with songs from the studio and grounds, and uses a simple puzzle to illustrate the struggles of spending time with loved ones during the holiday season. As an introverted person, the developers of each daily entry are listed on the meditation's launcher. To the left of each game's short description, Ismail has also said that a full list of the game developers involved with the project will be released on December 31st, 2019, so as to not spoil the surprise for our devs that want their projects left unknown until launch. Though some involved have taken issue with the fact that none of those 350 developers listed on the project's credits page at the time of its first review. Esports team owners and professionals are reportedly convinced that many organizations are overvalued, and because of that, a market correction is looming on the horizon. This prediction comes after esports organizations Infinite and Echo Fox laid off staff, signaling the start of a market correction which seems likely to occur in 2019, as reported by Sports Business Daily. In the past 12 years, since traditional sports teams started acquiring esports organizations, faith in the long-term potential of video games has grown. On the other hand, pessimism about the short and medium-term longevity of the sports teams is also growing as the pressure to spend grows faster than revenue. The terms at which some leading esports teams have raised additional investment capital appear separated from standard business metrics. According to Sports Business Daily, outside of sponsorships, there needs to be a consistent physical source of revenue, ticket sales and in-person merchandising, coming in for esports teams to offset spending deficits. Mike Sapsel, an esports consultant and founder of Major League Gaming, explains how market expectations around esports organizations are based in optimism. To investors, esports are the perfect blend of both technology and sports. The optimistic point of view is you are combining both the long-term value accretion of sports franchises with high growth, early-stage tech multiples. Sapsel said. He continues on, saying the 12-way pressure is not a major issue yet, and the investors believe sponsor and ad dollars will trickle in. There is always urgency to monetize. But at this stage in esports, it's definitely not panic. The strongest organizations are the ones least dependent on competitive teams to make money. So teams that run other endeavors on the side. For example, a team, Liquid Dreams gaming community websites, a Wikipedia-style site, etc., are more likely to generate more revenue. It's worth noting that these are just market predictions, so it's too early to draw conclusions. A new year stretches before us, ripe with possibilities, and organizers of the 2019 Game Developers Conference want to take the opportunity to let you know about a promising session from Double Coconut's David Fox that's all about finding success in the hyper-casual game market. In his GD 2019 Mobile Summit talk, the Flappy Bird that laid the golden egg. Success in hyper-casual. Folks will show you how. Much like the pop music industry, success in hyper-casual involves an extremely polished nugget of gameplay wrapped in carefully calibrated image, and shared with a worldwide well-established but very hard-to-enter distribution model. Folks who previously held roles at Telltale Games and Digital Chocolate aims to pull back the curtain and look at how this all really works, and where quality really matters. Hyper-casual games are a fun way to prototype and profit off new mechanics, but they are not for the faint of heart, and certainly are not guaranteed to succeed. However, with the right planning and math, folks will show you how they are a genuine path to noble success. For more details on this talk, and many more, check out THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your DD week, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to DD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more here. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, or RSS. Gamasutra and DD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Hold On is a premium-priced mobile brick breaker built upon the joy found in a single moment in the genre, the time when the ball sneaks behind the blocks and just goes wild, bashing away at them as the player watches. It's a game that encourages players get their ball bouncing between blocks as often as possible, savoring the chaos as the balls slam about. Gamasutra spoke with Martin Greatfruit Johnson, developer of Hold On as well as other finely made indie games like To Fold Incorporated and Dream Capsule, to talk about how the appeal of this moment shaped the game's play style, how the game's design helps the player find order and strategy within those wild bounces, and designing stages that would make this kind of moment happen often. In Johnson's words, per usual, it's a mishmash of ideas from all over. But the initial seed came from playing another game that uses a similar mechanic. Aim a stream of balls at a bunch of blocks, break them, do it again. That particular game felt like a missed opportunity, so I quickly threw together my own prototype to try out some ideas I had. There's this mysterious, universal appeal to watching a bunch of balls bounce around that just made it work really well. Basically, it became about distilling that bit in more traditional brick breakers, i.e., breakout, where you sneak a ball in above all the bricks, and it just goes wild. I cannot claim to really understand it, but the bouncing is hypnotic. With Hold On, it became a challenge to balance the inherent chaos of 50 or so balls bouncing around with some type of order and hierarchy to what was and was not important. There's a lot going on once the bouncing starts, so I was fairly restrictive with effects and such, mostly using them to convey important changes and events. This is related to the layout of the generation of levels. I realized it would be a good incentive for deep shots if the blocks actually rested on each other, so removing blocks lower in the playfield would make it messy. This basically required the game to have you shoot down. I did try upside down gravity along with shooting up, because that configuration is less prone to the common mobile issue of hiding the thing you are aiming at with your finger. However, that upside down mode was incredibly confusing, so firing down it was. The stages are all procedurally generated, but somehow, I got quite lucky with the way they are generated and ended up with a setup that was easy to tweak to make levels that strike a good balance between difficulty and fun shots. Early in prototyping, it became obvious that the most fun shots were when you managed to get your balls in a small pocket and they bounce around wildly. These types of setups were originally somewhat rare to happen upon, but once I realized I could do the rounded corners, it all fell into place. They open up the playfield much more, and in combination with the larger Tetrimino-style blocks, it just works really well. Looks nice too. That balance is all down to tweaking the way the levels are generated.